but this is to follow up on what we were calling the grabby guy and some other wounds that were operating out front and that are now have been well loved. And then we're looking at another layer to get through today. But I asked Randolph to kind of give us an update on the grabby guy and your relationship with your wife and son and this what you just described to me, the fine energy of your being that you used to think of as anxiety. So before we get into the new stuff, will you share your beautiful experiences with since we last talked?
Okay, yeah, just yeah, I'm so thankful for your invitation a month ago to start talking about this story of the grabby guy who's controlling my life and ruining all the previous relationships I had, participating in organizations. Especially, it seemed like all the organizations with that patriarchal structure where you have the head and then everybody, all the man in the wrong place, and then the men are all trying to grab women while they're pretending to be spiritual or doing whatever they're supposed to be doing in the org. But it's all just a dating. It's a dating group, really. And,
Yes.
and
Every spiritual group, every political group, it's really men trying to date women. If we're honest.
like group, some people are more out, but others they like the Buddhists like to put on somber clothing and act really pious. But it's all the same game. So, you and so you gracefully exposed the grabby guy that I was seeing was trying to grab you or other women that came in here. And since then, uh, you cracked the Zach. I kind of like that phrase because it refers to like Zach Bush's position to be almost totally controlled by the grabby guy that's formed the harem around him, and the whole organization is consumed by that. But now I'm able to be a collaborator. And that is so joyous that I have to consider those fantasy things that come up.
Yeah.
Like Miriam came on, and I could see that the grabby guy says, "Ooh, she's about your age. Ooh, she's very ooh. I get by Florida. Ooh. And it was like, nah, you ruined the last one, and so now I can collaborate in the conversations. She's having wonderful conversations on her Substack and in our chat, and I can collaborate with her. And it just occurred to me that my role in some ways is it's my joy that my writing can attempt to reflect the beauty that I see in the wise women that are coming together here.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to grab it, I can just reflect the light that I see. And y'all say I write really well. And it's like, okay. Oh.
We love it. We love it. Everyone a poem.
So it's kind of like that's my job. And I see a new position. I just saw it in the image of the rose, the way the energy flows up from the soil into the rose. And my role as the man in this is that I'm I'm kind of an intermediary. The energy flows up from the soil, and I'm kind of like am underneath the rose, and the energy flows. I'm getting it from the feminine source, and it flows into the flower, which is the whole crown, which is what the whole thing is about. Is a
Yeah.
flower that's blooming, and in that position, I'm in right relationship with everything instead of trying to, I don't know. Well, so it's a very nice thing to be able to participate in that. I've seen it with my wife. We're navigating, we're becoming empty nesters. So we have a whole new chapter to embrace after the 35 years of raising. And we are in in the framework of knowing what my position is with her, because we came together with the idea that I was supposed to be the leader and we were supposed to go somewhere wonderful. But of course, I didn't have the vision, and she was always subjugated because of all the crazy things that I thought I was supposed to lead us into. And it's only now discovering that, the role of the man with her is who can nourish her dream. And I like the phrase you use, action figure, because that's kind of like what we are. And we're out how to nourish her dream. If I'm her action figure, or if there's it might be our daughter who has kind of that can help her with that dream, and it just might dovetail well. But then it might be, we might have to divorce so that she can receive her action figure, because we dovetail that way. I can help her a little bit, but not as much as she could be if she connected well. And you asked about my son. We had just a beautiful discussion. Um, Actually, we've been growing into this, but it was really quite beautiful. He's in a very difficult relationship right now, across the country, and he he's young. He doesn't understand the dynamics of when power is different, that he's being manipulated, and he's suffering from a lot of psychological abuse. And the old dad wanted to rush in and save him, but now I know I just had to retreat into that space of cuddling where the energy flowed to him, and I was able, instead of just slamming down on him in the conversation, I just opened up with, son, I don't really understand your situation very well, but I'd really like to. And this is what I see. Is this what you're going through? And it kind of magnetized him to want to participate in a discussion where we discovered things together, and where I could offer some assistance that was appropriate at his level, how much he could take. It was all just flowed very, very beautifully. And so I was able to help my son,
Yes.
like,
Yes.
wow.
Yes. Yes. By just showing up,
Yeah.
and you showed up to yourself first, right? The grabby guy, which you're cuddling with, it's your language, which I love, is came from like the piece in us that says, I'm empty, I need her, I need, I don't have it, um, I'm unlovable, I need her love, I need her attention. That wound that was stored in your heart, you've just been cuddling with and cuddling with, giving him attention, attending to this old wound. And then in showing up for yourself, you can just be there with women, with your wife, with everyone, with all of us, and with your son. There's just presence. There's not an agenda. There's not the hidden agenda of the unworthy one, the unlovable one, the needy one that isn't real. It was just a story, and you saw through the story and you healed through the feeling in the body. You've just been giving your body all that attention, and then everybody's satiated. Nobody's trying to fill their cup with other people's energy. We fill our own and it overflows. And so this is my experience too. Every relationship shifts and they become this beautiful exchange, and not a zero sum game. It's just this true authentic expression with one another from
Yes.
your full heart. Yeah.
That's that's one of the things that really caught my attention when you would invite us to these spaces where we together. You would come. I think your phrase was, "Let's just come together, see what beautiful thing blooms from our together here." Yeah, I'm not quite getting the phrase, but the idea is that we create it together, and that
Yeah.
there's no you're not the guru. You're just, here's a space. Let's come and grow together. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. We show up fully responsible for ourselves, which is just the ability to respond, which we all have, that awareness can be fully inside our own bodies. We show up and we'll watch how life just distributes everything perfectly and it
It's
flows.
right down in the granular on the conversations. It's just
Yes.
amazing how, like, just the recent conversation with my wife, um we were connecting on. I mean, I'm talking with her on the phone. She's 400 miles away, and it's like there's this connection of our hearts. Like, I'm mentioning something and I'm trying to get it across, and there's limitations of language, but then she connects and it just expands what I was trying to get to, and then it leads to my contribution to the thing. And we both just had to go, this was really quite amazing what happened here, the connections. And
Yes.
we didn't try and make it. I wasn't following, I've been reading for years. I've wanted to connect and communicate with people better. And I'd be reading all these 10 ways to connect with your wife and how to communicate better. And you learn all these tips. It's all in your head. And you can't use them. Most, when you try and use them, it's totally inappropriate. You're using a hammer, you need a screwdriver, and oh my God. So,
Exactly.
and then in these flowing conversations, those tools that my mind knew could be utilized by my heart in the appropriate way.
Yes.
And and then you see, well, yeah, that's a really smart thing, but you got to become from the heart and not the mind that wants to manipulate the encounter. Got a goal here. I want to save my son. And so
Yes.
you use all these tools and totally ruin the encounter. But when it's guided from the heart, whoo, it's a
Woo!
whole, yeah.
Preach. That's it. That's it. That's what we've been talking about. We're not in time. You're not in your agenda that brings in that takes us out of the moment, that takes us out of what's possible and what's true, right? Like how these two people naturally move together, right? That we don't get to discover that because we're coming in with, some guy's agenda who thinks this is how to do it. But you're right that it's when you move into embodiment, right? So the awareness is in the moment, it's not in time, in the body, through the heart, then the body, all of life leads. And then anything you've ever learned mentally will serve that. The mind becomes the servant instead of the master.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's like it's incredible and you don't even know like that the thought just comes in, the statement just comes in, you don't even know the end of your sentence, but it's
Yeah.
just right. Yeah.
Yes. Like, for instance, in that conversation with my wife, she, she, she writes down her night dreams, and they are a source of connection for us in our discussions because somehow the dreams are reveal a part of us that we can't acknowledge together. But in talking about the dream, it seems to open up the possibility. It's a fascinating process. I don't know if that's just the natural function of the dreams, that when people are together and speak, that can be helpful to them. But I mentioned certain images, and she said, "Oh my God, that's just what I dreamed about." And then she would tell the dream, and it would be an expansion on the story that I brought up. Now, how is that possible? And that's out the conversation. I wasn't thinking, well, I'm going to make an image of, I just imaged a tennis. I was using a tennis image. And she said, oh my God, I had a dream about tennis. And it was exactly the punchline of the story that I wanted. Like, wow. We just,
Magic. Well, this is exactly it, right? Where here two people in their full authenticity, embodied, sharing, and then you'll see how life syncs you together, where you sort of tell a story together about tennis, and had you had the three steps from that book, you would have missed all the magic. And I tell you, that's just how that's why I always say like life is like a great writer. she writes like really cool synchronous stories, and how we come together is like just the coolest. So that's the discovery, right? Is coming out of your stories and your agendas and the lack and limitation beliefs of of what this guy doesn't have. You realize through your body that you have it, you are it. You are the love you seek, you are the peace you seek, you are the safety you seek. And then and then the possibility, like it's just like all these channels open up, and then the channel of how you and your wife really connect, right? Through these like cool esoteric things or whatever, like we said, like fairies and gnomes are both your two standard deviations from the norm kind of thing, but often in the opposite direction. But that you would come together in such a magical way. And then every single relationship can be like everything becomes like that, where you're just watching this like story unfold. Like, oh my God, this is so much cooler than what I've written, because we're only repeating what the book said, what our mother said, what the society said, and it's so boring. We've heard it a million times.
Yeah, there's a story that I also got to see through is knowing that I have a conversation with somebody, and the story says, "Oh, man, hard one. This could be a hard con.
Yes.
I really got to prepare for this." So you're going over your lists of steps, how you can connect and not offend them, and so you got your whole thing figured
The whole
out.
agenda.
A hard conversation.
Yes.
It isn't a hard conversation if you see the story coming and it's a hard conversation and you go, no, it isn't. My heart can handle anything. My heart is infinite and it takes in all information, and whatever happens, it can handle it. Sorry, I believe in this.
Yes, 100%. Exactly. And it isn't even, you don't even handle it. It handles itself. It's not like you have to like steer, right? Like literally handling it. We don't have to steer. You're taking your hands off the wheel, and then it's like, watch, just see see what your heart does with it. And this is what we've been doing, right? We're stripping ourselves of all the beliefs. This is going to be hard. This is trouble. This pain is definitely going to kill me. I'm going to go crazy. I can't do that. Blah blah blah. And then you come to find out it all was orchestrated just perfectly.
Yeah,
So
and I've
great.
I've got I've got another story that's really a thing happened to me that's really popping stories. I've got an unexpected medical bill, many thousands of dollars, and it's I could just gut punch to that. And a lot of our cliches that have the body connections, they really are kind of cool. How that, yeah, the gut. And um, I really was fascinated by your discussion with Miriam from a spirit of abundance, and it made me see, oh my God, I've been really trained well in this in the scarcity mindset, and I've even kind of glorified it in calling it minimalism and being
Yes.
ecological conscious, and it's like the deal I've made. Well, the universe will give me what I need. That's cool. But if I dare to even raise an eyebrow to it's ask for a want, it's like going to vaporize me on the spot. I mean, it's
Yes.
and
How are you? Yes.
but I saw her living from abundance, and it was like, whew. And I know that scarcity mindset is trying to convince me that this huge unexpected medical bill is just going to derail me. But I normally I would be really frantically contacting my insurance broker and trying to contact Medicare and the supplemental, and I'd be just really on edge, trying to solve it. But I know there's no solution there because that's coming from the story. So,
Yes. Yes.
right at a place where I'm sitting with the uncertainty, and it really is a crushing blow to you know kind of above my belly button, and just staying with that sensation.
Yep.
Every
So you're cuddling with it. And what is the perfect? This is perfect. This is everybody's. We got the same stuff. So what is the fear? What is the worst thing that would happen if you play the tape out? Right. We're always gonna. Here's the fear. It's gnawing at us. It's the gut punch. and then you just keep looking all the way at it. What's the end? What's the end? What's it trying to convince you of? Because we want to pull it out of hiding, right? Look it right in the eye.
Um, well, it was given to me by my parents who lived through the Depression. I mean, that's where I learned the generational thing. Of course, they were immigrants that came over here because of scarcity in Europe where they came from. I'm trying to get the question on my mind: what is the worst thing that could happen? That's the question, right?
Yeah.
What am I that could
Most afraid of. Yeah.
afraid of?
You want to make sure it does not happen. Just go look right at it.
Oh, the image of like during the Depression when people were being evicted because they didn't have the money to pay, and these thugs would come and just throw all their furniture out of the house, and they would throw the people out of the house, and you would be on the street with just some of the stuff, whatever you could carry.
Yeah.
And that's terrorizing. It's getting closer, but there's something even deeper than that that it would be nice to connect with.
Keep going then. What's even deeper? You're out on the street without your stuff is thrown out on the street. Then what? Everybody do this together, you know? What's that thing you just are like, I cannot look at that. It can't be. What is it? What's the worst thing? You're out on the street.
Well, that I won't be provided for.
Mhm.
That
Okay,
that
so and you're like hungry.
yeah,
Okay,
and I'm
so you're hungry. Yeah.
unsafe. And um, oddly enough, I spent a lot of time in the '70s hitchhiking around the just with a knapsack, and I did okay. It was fine. It was fun.
You were
It's just
fine. In fact, you might have liked it.
wonderful places, and I had wonderful meals, and I discovered and on one bike trip I discovered the Dairy Queens were all over, and the Dairy Queens, biking all day in the heat, like, have this 1 gallon size raspberry milkshake. I mean, it's gigantic, it's wonderful, it's cold in the summer, and it's just the perfect consistency. It's a perfect, and I would be just getting that raspberry milkshake, and that's what life on the road generally is. There's a lot of those things, but so this terror seems entirely inappropriate. That because I've been provided for.
Yeah, that's the thing about terror. I, and I don't laugh until somebody discovers it, because you have to go all the way. You have to like put yourself on the street, and then it's like, wait a minute, that was really fun. so so this is not to. I mean, we're in a horrific scene here on earth, right? Where we're just, there's so many homeless people are suffering, people are being killed. That's all true. But we each have to, in order to not keep perpetuating a world built on fear, we have to meet our own demons. And every single time you're going to realize it was a, it was just a lie. It was just a lie. So, and it's often like this. It's like, actually, that was the very kind of thing I was looking for. I was kind of looking to go on more adventures.
I really like those milkshakes.
I really love this. Exactly. If I could just drink milkshakes every day again, and you probably have enough money to like drink milkshakes. You know what I mean? Like, or like you have a network of friends or whatever, right? Like you actually there's like this is actually this is what's happening, right? People can't afford anything anymore, and mutual aid is just popping up all over the place. And we're finding what you and I were talking about earlier is that most people are amazing underneath their fear. right? They just want to care for each other. We just want to have fun together. We're very happy to give our neighbor a milkshake if he needs one. And this isn't like the scarcity story isn't real on the ground. It never was. So we each have to just look right at it. And so the worst happening every time. This is why I was saying the other day, like when Mary and I were talking about like, oh well, if they come get us, she'll teach yoga in jail and I'll I'll help people heal. Or if I die, well,
Yeah.
the problem for them is I'm not afraid of death. So you're not gonna, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, death, great. They could use a nap. I don't, it's fine. So fear is just 100% of the time lying. The tip here is go all the way to the end. Go all the way to the worst case scenario, and then you're going to find yourself back around finding things that are fulfilling. Actually,
I've heard lots of stories of men that are incarcerated for life and unjust unjust reasons, and their heart still finds a way to shine.
yes,
And the stories get out about all the life transforming that other people have experienced with deep in his cell. And it's
yeah,
like there's no way. I mean, the expression in the resistance community is they thought they were burying us, but we're seeds, you
yeah,
know. And so it's the idea that there's no dark that can keep the light from shining, and we always have that light to shine, no matter
yes.
where. If we don't believe that we're confined, and the stories are always limiting, constricting, and I mean, you can even feel that some of my bodily reactions to some of the stories are myself constricting to protect myself, and just the very idea of I like those dances that you gave us. Those a lot of those are just expansive things, and just doing that, go, oh yeah, that's right, I am free.
Yeah.
Just movement of the body doing that.
Precisely. Precisely. Exactly. What we just did was we looked at the fear, we looked at the mental image, right? And then you found where it is in the body, this gut punch. And now we're talking about bringing awareness to that and the body naturally releasing it. And that's this light in the darkness, like it's we if we are willing to go into the darkness, right, which is where that pain is in the body, where that image is, go all the way to the end, it's only a seed. It's only your freedom. That's where your freedom is, because you're trapped by your fear, navigating your day, running on a hamster wheel trying to get money, and meanwhile you're missing the abundance, when your guy at the truck stop already bought you a milkshake or whatever, right? Like, it's like we walk right past the reality of abundance. It's all artificial scarcity, and then we see through it and we feel through it, and exactly, it's just light all day long. I just want to read what Miriam wrote here. She says the human spirit is amazing and so resilient, isn't it? I know, amazing. And these worst case scenarios happening, I mean, it's the whole cliche, right? Crisis and opportunity. But the worst happened to me. I like the demons came. All my friends betrayed me. All this stuff, and it was like all it did, all it did was just put me right on my most aligned, abundant path.
Yeah. So I guess the bottom line on the unexpected medical bill is it's a gift, and it's going to be a new adventure, and it's going to be even better than free milkshakes.
Precisely. It's just. I mean, every single time, every challenge, it goes tap 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 on the unhealed stuff. Tap tap
Yeah.
tap tap, and it's your friend every time. Your triggers are your friend, and it's like, oh, there's a remaining thing in my gut, you know and and life sets it up so perfectly. It's like you just healed this whole piece, and then you have all this freedom, and all this, like, I don't know, like, commitment to doing this work, and then the next one comes in, right? It's like, okay, he's ready to heal this one now, and so money, all of it just starts to unravel.
Yeah, yeah, that's another marvelous thing too about the healing process is this is as natural to our bodies as like when we break a bone or
Yes,
have an incision. The body just does it. If
exactly.
you're with it,
Yes.
and it just does it. And
Yeah.
and our of these trauma. separate us from the bodily awareness, our oneness with everything, that our sensations are connected with what's happening in the world. But
Yeah.
we misinterpret these sensations because there are a lot of us in like the political activism movement that are highly into the kind of this zeitgeist. There's just this thing that we can perceive that, and relating with like, ew, what? And our brains, we listen to our brains instead of just going with whatever intelligence our bodies is trying to reflect, because our bodies are reflecting,
Yes.
the whole thing. But our minds get in here and say, well, this is what I should do to get rid of this feeling. So that
Yes.
so much of our political action, I mean, there's no denying the things in Gaza and Ukraine and the police killing marginalized people, and all the people being kidnapped and shipped to that Salvadorian death camp. It's horrid. But my brain has a lot of solutions that don't do anything because I participated in trying to resolve those things, but they just get ground down into nothingness. Nothing good happens. So where is the intent in my perception? Those of us that can perceive this need for love to intervene. Where is the love? Is first to let go of the stories of how I'll solve it and see what, you know, relate with my body in a way to participate in the healing, and see if that's an invitation, to participate in some way, in a right way.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. We stop the fighting. Um, and we heal here, we return to wholeness here, we see the oneness here, and then how we move, and then if it's we're all one, so it's like cleaning the waterways here, helps clean the waterways over there, because it is just one body and mind, versus just putting more toxic stuff in,
Yes,
you know.
yeah, that's all we were doing, and uh, and we were calling ourselves community.
Yes. Yes. I know community, it doesn't, community around an agenda, around fear, around um wounding, it doesn't feel like community. It isn't nourishing. It isn't. Yeah.
One of the happens in these so many of the movements is that, like, most of our energy is devoted to the people who are naturally repelled by taking part, but they feel like they ought to be doing something, but there's another part of them that just burns out and doesn't want to do it, which is a
Mhm.
natural. But a lot of the energy of group have people that are motivators. They'll remind you, and they'll rah 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 rah. So you're spending a lot of your day just, okay. What do you have to say, Simon Rosenberg and Robert Hubble and Jessica Craven? They're really good at this, and you focus, you listen to them, and you go, yeah, I'm ready. I'm gonna write those senators and those representatives and give them a piece of my mind. It's like, ugh.
Yeah. Exactly, as if that's ever worked, as if they ever listen. But yeah, exactly, it's pain begetting pain, compromise begetting compromise, effort begetting effort. You're not gonna, like we said, you're not gonna get to fulfillment from compromise. You're not gonna
Oh,
get to effortless peace from effort. You're not gonna. That's you're over here in the matrix. You're over here in a story. You're over here in fear. You're just gonna stay in that in a story. But if you're over here in reality, in your body, it'll move you toward fulfillment and everybody around you. And you'll move away from anybody who isn't moving toward fulfillment. And that's building the new world, which is sustainable and fulfilling for all and rich and totally abundant. This was always just a story, just a matrix, just a belief in a zero sum game that was never real. So we have to, each piece in our lives, we have to feel through that. And I think Miriam asked a question about this. She says, I was in a story in my head last night about the MDs I teach, and it all turned so beautifully today. How do we prevent the stories from taking hold of us? Great question. So, um, well, um, did it take hold of you, Miriam? Let's just. I just want to see. It sounds like you were in it last night, but then reality shows you that it was just a story. Um, so, how do we stop stories from taking hold of us? We can first we have to just notice that we're being taken hold of, right? So there's a sense of tension. There's a sense of being blocked. There's a sense of urgency. There's a sense of effort. There's a sense of terror. There's a negative emotion, which I really don't like that word, but it's you don't feel good. um, there's going to be a story running. So the effort, the drain on your energy, like Randolph was describing, is your cue. You're meant for fulfillment. It's meant to be easy. It's meant to flow. So if it isn't, you're in a story. End of discussion. So then you just got to take awareness, that which sees the story. So, that which would say, I have an anxiety disorder. I have this. I have this. That which looks, just go look and see what we just did with Randolph. What is the fear? What's the story? What's the story that's running? Um, that I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to, be homeless on the street. That I'm going to die, that I'll go crazy. And to look at it, right? To look at it instead of from it. And then very simple inquiry, always from Byron Katie, which is, can I absolutely know that this is true? And which is really what we just did, right? My way of doing it is often just go into the image, go into the worst case scenario, and then you're going to find there's no real fear there because you're going to see your actual self. It's just like a body on the street. Okay, what do you know about that? In viscerally, well, I know that like in my neighborhood, I could ask somebody for food. I've got wood for firewood. I've got, whatever's true. Oh, I actually want to travel and drink milkshakes again. you know, you're just going to find out if you go all the way into the story that there's no real fear there. But if you need the inquiry question, it's, can I absolutely know that this is true? And it's just yes or no, just the answer yes or no, and it's going to be no. If you need to ask yourself a couple times, no, I can't know that this is true. I can't know that this is going to happen, and then that's just going to take you back into awareness. And and then another question is, how do I feel when I believe this thought? That's going to bring you into the gut punch or wherever it's stored in the body, which is essential to really heal it, right? So you know I say this all the time, but people will say, I know it's not true, right? I've seen through the thought, but it still feels true. And so in a way, you're still believing it, you're still in the story, because the body hasn't registered that it's not true. The body hasn't registered, oh, I'm safe, oh, I'm loved, oh, I'm so intimately cuddled with the father and the daughter, like Vasvi was saying, I and my father are one, right? That we haven't realized, felt that yet. And so the body hasn't registered the safety. It hasn't dissolved that energetic grip. So use your trigger, use when you're caught in a story to just go 1, 2, 3, right? One, can I know it's true? Or let's see if I can find the story. Go all the way into the story, see what the fear is. Two, where is it in the body? Three, meet it in the body and see through the thought and watch it start to dissolve. That's it. It's not fancy. And if you keep getting caught, it's likely that you haven't gone all the way to the depth of the wound, right? You haven't gotten to the center of that gut punch, and maybe didn't let your body move in some weird way to release it. And or there's like another piece where it's like, well, I'm I'm not really afraid of being homeless. I'm afraid of everybody abandoning me and being called a weirdo. And then it's like, okay, well, what would happen there? Well, then I would just, I would die. I would be so ashamed or whatever it is. And same thing, you just look through that one, see where it is in the body. Um, so hopefully that answered the question. That's it. That's really it.
That's a powerful question, Megan. That what is the worst that can happen in the talking with my son, he was projecting that horrible things would happen to him if he just moved back home with us for a safe
Yeah.
place. And he says, "Nah, I mean, it's yeah, I could see it maybe for a month or two, but what if I'm there for 3 years?" And I say, "Well, yeah, that's a good question. What if it was 3 years? What would happen?" And it was like, "Oh yeah, yeah." you know, it was just a story. He got to see for himself. It was just a story, So we
Yes.
got to offer him the safe place if he wants to come.
Yeah.
It's and he has an alternative to the voice that said, "No, that's not there because a horrible thing's going to happen." But so
Yeah.
now his resources just opened up by not believing in the story, and it was such a question. It was like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
exactly. That's it. You have them go. You mentioned the. By the way, Randolph, when you mentioned the Truman Show to me, whenever voice memo you get left me, the night before I had watched a clip of. I've never seen the whole of the Truman Show, and that night I had watched a YouTube clip of the end of the Truman Show. I can't believe I didn't tell you that. So it's just very much like, and so right now I'm realizing it's the end of the Truman Show. It's the same thing. Your son hadn't seen Beyond the Wall, right? It was, what if I go back home? Like, that's bad, right? That makes me a bad person or whatever it is, right? And then you just go, well, what if? And then he's like walks out of the Truman Show. It's like, oh, I don't know. I'd just be free to just be and be with you guys or not, or I don't even know what's going to happen, right? It's like all it is. That's the only thing, is that we have a trap of a limited belief, right? Like, this is bad. This is, this means I'm not independent, or I'm a failure or whatever, right? So I'm a failure just blocks us. And we go, well, look past that window. There's your freedom. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I hope that answered it, Miriam. Welcome to all y'all who came. She says, yes, then the head MD sent me a message letting me know they love me. Yeah, tragedy struck. You wouldn't have even known, had they not told you you can't teach, you wouldn't have known how much they love you. I did not want to go teach today. It was one of my best classes. That's There you go. There you go. Exactly. My youngest daughter said, Mom, maybe life is redirecting you. Oh, wise. Understood. We never know if anything is absolutely true. She's laughing. Yeah, exactly. 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 We just show up, and life just takes care of it so much better. And these are all just mini Truman shows, these beliefs. And you can walk right out. Just walk right out and then feel your way out of it. Which I always do make this motion because it is an opening motion, but it really does take this sort of intimate cuddling, this real deep attentiveness. So awareness, loving awareness, which is just what's looking out of your eyes, coming into the deep area of that solar plexus where that gut punch is, and just cuddling up there, and then it'll release itself. You don't have to do anything, right? When we were doing this exploration slash meditation yesterday, I always mean to say it multiple times. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. I'm just talking, and you just explore, and my words are just pointers, but you're in the same way that if you were on a, I don't know, on the most luxurious, boat, and you're in the beautiful sunshine, and you're being driven, and I'm just asking you to look around and feel your environment, and feel the sun, and feel the waves, and feel the delicious food that you're eating, you know. That's all.
that transforms a part. I guess all families are doing this, monitoring each other's health. So when somebody has a symptom, somebody else will. We're almost always coming from our head. We're trying to figure out, well, how do I deal with getting that person back where they can participate in what we call health, which is, but the regular operating. And so we're prescribing. Well, maybe you ought to take Pepto-Bismol, or maybe some ibuprofen. But now, when my wife or daughter will relay a symptom, and I'll just ask them, well, what's hurting and where is it?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's it. We give it some love.
Totally changes the whole conversation. I'm not going to solve it. I just, what's hurting?
That's, I mean, that like we were talking about with Miriam, right? Like that's better than 99% of doctor's visits right there. Yeah,
Yep.
beautiful. Um, well, where do you want to go? Do you want to talk? It seems like we've resolved the money thing. Is there anything else left there?
Well, yeah. Why don't we open up? I think how did I make the comment that I really don't know what sex is?
Yes,
You
I
know,
really don't know what sex is. I love that so much. Yeah, it's like, me too. Let's not know. And this is really the theme. I swear this week is like this theme for those who haven't watched the other ones, is this theme of like every idea you think you know what it is, just dropping it, dropping it, dropping it. All beliefs, all faith, all trust, all thought, all time. Um, Dropping meaning, which doesn't mean it's meaningless, but to just not put a stamp of anything on life. And that includes the big ones. That includes, money. That includes sex. That includes everything. Relationships, conversations, work, all of it. Uh, I'm I could I've wanted to create a blog, and maybe I will do it at some point, but I want to, like, of all the words I want to throw out because they're too tainted. Now we have to use some of them, but like I definitely want to throw out good and bad and right and wrong, God, meditation, exercise, health. um, you know, all these words, work. Uh, and I would throw sex in there too, because it's so loaded with ideas of what it is. It's almost it's performative for almost everyone.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
performance.
Yeah.
Exactly. You get all these instructions on, like men will be taught, well, how do you get a woman to have 30 orgasms, and and how do you? Yeah, it's just and there are a lot of so yes, it's but when you gave the those fascinating pictures of how the energy should flow, what is the natural way for the energy to flow through, you know uh, yes, how is it naturally designed to flow through our sex centers?
Good. Good. Let's discover this together. Let's discover it together. Let's not, I'm not going to give you an instruction. We're going to do what we've been doing. Strip all of our stories away, including my graphs, including everything. They're all just, let's put them in the trash, to just discover, very much like the milkshakes, right? And just like imagine, so so let's imagine a just a delightful, wonderful scenario where you are intimate with um someone you're highly attracted to. Let's just say that. And someone that is very attracted to you. That it's a consensual, beautifully, um, like, we're so happy to be here together. Okay, so we've set the scene, but you don't have, like, but you're even more um, deeply embodied in the way that you continue to be. Right? There's no grabbiness. There's no agenda. There's no 1, 2, 3 instruction. We don't know. We're starting from scratch. You're like 12 and 13 again, 15, 16. Because we are, because we don't know. And every moment's different. Every body is different. How do we know how this is going to flow? But we're going to find out. So feeling deeply into your body, you're just in that scenario. Feel your chest, feel your throat, feel your head. Everybody do this together. Everybody's in their dream scenario with their dream partner. And we don't know anything, but we are going to be deeply embodied in our sex centers, in our pelvis, in our sex organs, in our belly, in our diaphragm, in our heart, in our whole spine, in our legs, in our feet, our hands, our shoulders, our arms, all through the neck and the head. You're fully shown up in your body. And then just take your time, take as much time as you want, and we're just going to report to each other. How does the flow go?
To describe the flow or where
Yeah. Once you start to see it. Yeah.
yeah,
You
there's
feel it.
just it's almost a pleasant warmth that's around the genital area. It's just it just there.
Yes. Pleasant warmth, beautiful. Great. And you were describing earlier this your words are like a fine energy. I sometimes call it a hum, right? The energy of our being, the, the pure energy of our being is very fine and very effervescent, and it flows, right? And so there's this warm energy there. I'm gonna guess there's also a warm energy in your heart and in
Oh,
your
you got it. That's exactly what I was going to say. You got
yeah. Great. Great. So there's a warm energy in your heart. There's a warm energy in your sex organs. There's a warm energy in your whole body. And then what happens? What does that energy do? Does it
it.
do
Just
anything? Does it
yeah,
move in a okay, what is it? What do you notice? How does it move?
it just wants to explode. It just wants to go out and to give itself in
Yes.
can.
Yes. 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 That's what I've noticed too. Especially the masculine energy just wants to give. It just wants to pour forth.
Yeah.
And it wants to give in whatever
Yeah.
way she most appreciates. And and you're just happy to offer. it's that's it. And it flows from the heart, it flows from every chakra, it flows. And it it just pours from you, and then it just pours out of her, and it just pours and pours and pours and pours, and it is an endless cup, right? Imagine that pouring from your sexual organs, pouring from your heart, just pouring and pouring. Yeah. You've poured into you, you've actually shown up for you, and then you catch the flow, right? And what would we call sex? It's like it doesn't there would be a there's no dividing line where it's like this is sex and this isn't.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like being at the dinner table and saying this activity is eating, but when I'm talking, the activity is chatting with at the table. And
Exactly. It's perfect.
out of the you want to get up to help them move the chair. Well, that's courteous, so it just totally interrupts the whole flow of the entire. So, yes, and that was a nice invitation to just energy and feel how it flows and how it never has with
Yes. It
anybody.
can't, right? It can't because we have an agenda, we have a story of sex, and that literally blocks
Yeah,
sex, that blocks the flow. Yeah. When there's just this natural flow, when we are in touch with it, we are the conductors of the flow, not them.
yeah.
And it just flows. It's not, it's, you literally still don't need to do anything. Your body will just give, it'll just offer.
Mm.
And at no point will we know what sex is. At no point are we going to be able to define it.
Mm.
Or we can just leave that to somebody else. I don't know. Somebody else can care. Miriam says, for me, physical intimacy is the ultimate expression of love for another. I dislike the word sex because it is so much more than that. Exactly. It is a sacred exchange of divine energy. Exactly. 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 We're taking exactly. That's why I love to throw words out. It's that then this is a much more true description of what we just discovered. It's a sacred flow exchange and a flow of divine energy. Yeah. Of course, that's what it is. That's what everything is.
Mm.
So good. We'll just not have the word sex. Who needs it? Sometimes that flow of energy is naked in bed. Sometimes it's over a live stream. Sometimes it's the same.
Ooh. This is the first time I've been comfortable with that energy in my body.
Yeah.
It is so comforting. Wow.
Yes. It's so comforting to just be with the energy. The warm energy of our sensuality and our sexuality. It's because it's not just it's the sensuality. It's that rich sensuality in our second chakra there. It's just so rich. It's so fine. It's so glorious. It's so yummy. It's so sexy. And it's yours. And it's never end. It's a never ending fountain. And then you enjoy it. You're soaking in it. You love your own sensual energy, and then it naturally overflows into someone you love. But this is great. This is like the next level of cuddling. Is 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 is
Yeah.
being sensual with yourself. Is really sensing your that powerful, beautiful, rich energy.
Yeah, that recently happened while I was at home for a few days. I had to do some. I love doing errands in our small town, Grants Pass in Southwest Oregon. We've been there for about, and there's still places of that retains the original sensuousness of the place that invited us to move there. There's a unique fragrance to the air, which is reflective of the unique um, forests and plants that grow there, and the weather patterns that kind of mix it up into our air. And then the downtown, there's these old buildings from the 1800s, and there's a mural in the post office that was made by painters that reflect the vibrancy of that time. There's just something about painting, and I can just gaze at it. And there's just every moment is like what Disneyland promises, but being in your town and breathing the air and feeling the coolness on your skin, and there's a hum of activity as people walk on the sidewalks because the storefronts are so beautiful. People have all these artistic shops that they're showing, they're inviting you to see, look at these beautiful things that we've constructed and that we've made for you. And then memories would come up, and where I walked with my wife and we saw something in a store. It was this beautiful scarf that she just lit up, and she wanted the scarf and I could buy it for her. And these wonderful memories of how rich life is, and
Yeah.
how joyful people were in presenting their beauty for you to share. And it was all over town. And I just started weeping. It was like, my God, this is so beautiful.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. It's you can't, it's too much. It's just the level of beauty in everything and everyone is exactly, it's just overwhelming.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Yes. And now you're gonna open up that second chakra. You're really but yeah, it's just all so beautiful and so sensual and so yummy and so delightful, you know.
But we miss it. We're conditioned to think that it's really important for us to, because you can also look see that there's a mania that's possessing us when we're in our cars and we've got to be in a certain place at a certain time, and you're just God. I was behind in a long line, and the signal came on, and I missed going, about a half a second from, you have a certain decorum where you're supposed to keep on going so everybody else can make the, because if you miss, you take too long, the green light's going to turn red. And
Mhm.
apparently really offended the person behind me when I waited that half second. I mean, slamming on the horn. And then when he could, he just went right off into the other lane of traffic to get in front of me, so that he thought he would make this. And I'm seeing a lot more of that, but just the hurriedness of people to just the beauty of being where you are and where you get to. And incidentally, we were at the next light together.
Always.
You know, way it
Never
worked.
works. Yeah.
So, so we're missing. We're all being conditioned, and I got to help a young mom at the checkout line, and I saw she was really rushed, but she had a more graceful way of doing it. She didn't bump into people, but I could tell that she had every moment down precisely, exactly, to get it done as quick as so she could get to the counter to pay the bill, and so she could get out to get to the next errand because she wasn't with her child, so she's worried about that. And she probably doesn't have a good situation, maybe caring for the child. And I just wanted to hug this lady and say, ma'am, your care for your people is so beautiful. Just to say something beautiful like that. I see that you are doing something beautiful.
Yeah.
She couldn't relax. I got a chance just to offer to buy her groceries and just to show some appreciation, and kind of make eye contact and just let her see that somebody sees she's alive and appreciates her being here.
Yeah.
And just couldn't slow down enough. And but you offer it, and that,
Yes.
that was an opportunity that you can help. And that's one of the refreshing lessons of living from yourself, is that you're not creating time by thinking it's going to be better. It's going to be beautiful if you know where you are and see what the opportunity is that's being
Yes.
you, and that they just come.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're willing to take them and be there to see them, it's
Yeah.
all orchestrated for us, just like being here.
Yeah.
It's just,
Exactly.
yep.
Exactly. Exactly. I like that phrase, creating time. We just don't create time. And we can see when someone's in time, and we are, we've been caught we're with the story in time of me getting somewhere. And if I get the groceries and I do the thing, and then I'll have peace.
Yeah,
And we miss the peace that's here, which we've all fallen for a million times. But you're describing what it is to wake up from the story in a body with the senses open. And it's like, oh my God, this is this is so rich, this is so incredible. And that does translate, and you do help others stop time. We're doing that here. And even if she didn't quite slow down, you might have given her a little a little a little boost, a little spark. I want to read what folks have written here. Hold on. Miriam says about being together. Essentially, it is so nourishing when there's love in it. Totally. Totally, for everyone. In Ayurveda, sensuality and intimacy are some of the most important aspects of marriages and relationships. They have lots of aphrodisiac herbs for men and women in the Kama Sutra. Yeah, exactly. It's the I mean sensuality, the body, what we're doing here, right, is the foundation for everything. If you don't build from the body's truth, the body's desires, the sensual yes, right? Whether it's herbs and I mean everything, every what you eat, what you wear, who you are intimate with, if that's not built from your body's deep yes,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be so fun. It won't. You're not gonna get to fulfillment. It's a transactional, and most sex has been transactional, with men manipulating, getting women's energy. And what you are describing is is again, you are finding your own abundance, your own sensuality, your own heart, your own lover, right? It's really, like Vasvi said, we're the father and the daughter. We would also say the lover and the loved, right? The body is the loved, and you as pure awareness, as immortal awareness, are the lover. I love you. And so we become our own deep lover. We love every little corner of our body and kiss every little part. And then and then and then the abundance of and a flow with someone else is enormous. Yeah. But if it's built from the mind, if it's built from an agenda, if it's built from pain, same, from fear, you can never get there. You are trying to eat the meal in a movie. And it's never going to satisfy, versus eating the meal your actual belly wants. Being intimate with a person that's truly uh nourishing, and just your whole body is singing. Yeah. All
Yeah.
starts with us. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Yeah. The words are having a hard time coming up. I don't know if I'm just happy just to be here and just sit and enjoy the the new home. My
Mhm.
I felt the home in my heart, but now I found out there's other rooms. It's like,
Yes. Oh, good. Well, you know what we could do? Let's just do this for the last 20 minutes. Is just get really homey with each area of the body, right? And let's really do this with the pelvis, with the first and second chakras, right? So for those who, it's maybe new to do these explorations together, it's not really a meditation, it's not anything. It's just noticing what's already here. You don't have to do anything. But we're taking that which is looking, that which feels, which isn't a separate self. It's not your mind. It's just awareness itself, and feeling into the body. That's it. So let's all together feel into our pelvis and into the sense organs there, our sexual organs there. So you're feeling all the way through them, feeling into the pubic bone and down into the shaft of the penis and into the ovaries and into the labia and into the clitoris, like all through the sense organs. You're going to feel everything. Feel into your tailbone, feel into your sit bones, feel the fine energy of it. It's a room that you can get very, very, very cozy in. It's laid out with velvet pillows and soft comforters, and you can cozy up to every corner inside your pelvis, inside your sensual center here, and leave no area uninhabited. all the way to the front and all the way to the back. Let everything be soft and warm, cozy, comfortable. It's also going to be really alive. It might be like a lot of sensual energy. And that's no problem. It's You don't have to do anything with it. You don't have to contain it. You don't have to express it. You don't have to you just we're just feeling it. And if there are dead spots, if it feels like, gosh, I have not felt this in a long time, it's no problem. Just go again.
I'll be right back. I got your pants.
Okay. So you're inhabiting your home. You're inhabiting this very comfy, alive, sensual room. And let your pelvis just really soften, like the bones are softening, like everything is you can get really, really comfortable and cozy inside of it.
Ah, there we go. Ah, okay.
As you get really comfortable in your pelvis, just super cozy, relaxed, like you're in a cozy, cozy bed. You notice that the pelvis is and your hips and your central organs are also connected to your belly and to your heart. It all runs. It's a it's a it's a these waters flow together. So you can let those waters flow together. Let this particular energy of your pelvis might flow up into your heart. It might flow up into your belly. It might flow down into your legs. It might flow out the front or out the back or down the tailbone. We're just letting ourselves feel all this delicious energy in your pelvis. And let it heal you. Let your own awareness heals you. It opens your energy up. It dissolves tension. And go into the prostate, go into the fallopian tubes. You can feel around. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to picture it. You don't have to image it. Images might find you, but fully sense your own sensuality here. You need not do anything. You're just enjoying it. You're just feeling yourself. That's saying, feeling myself. You are loving this lover of yours, tasting her, touching him, cuddling with him, being intimate with him. And been pretty neglected. So you'll see there's a little pocket of pain in your hips or in your organs or down into your legs or cloudy parts. What is it to pour awareness in there, to feel through it, to not be bounced out of your own sensuality? Isn't it? It says this is so lovely, great exercise. Good. Great, exactly. It's so lovely. It's so lovely to do it together too. To just feel yourself. Feel your incredible, incredible field, incredible body. Such bounty inside our body. You feel those lower intestines too, and the lower belly, and let that be soft and touched and intimate with. The most tender, the most attentive lover you are to your whole pelvis, the whole thing, every part of your sensuality, every part of your sexuality. Feel the energy running down into the legs, up along the spine. This is a bounty of sensuality. There is an endless flow here. And you don't have to control it or contain it or do anything with it. You can just let it flow. It's a never ending cup of energy that our field is connected to. We're connected to source. And so you're just, as source herself, coming in and touching in and opening up those channels. But you don't have to do anything more than that. Just enjoy it. Whatever your sense organs do is fine. They don't need to be controlled. They don't need to be numbed out. They don't need to be even, you don't have to do anything. They just get to they just get to show themselves. They just get to fully be felt. As you get really, really comfortable in there, you'll see where other areas of the body aren't so comfortable. Like I just noticed a kind of a almost like feels like a shiv in my solar plexus. And so that's maybe something tied to the sensual area. And what is it to then just go and really feel the energy of that area that's calling for attention? It might be related to your second chakra. Opening up the fountain in one area helps cleanse the other ones. So in me even just saying that, the solar plexus starts to open. Feel free to just move or let the body unwind itself however it wants to. What is it to fully feel every area of the body? Let yourself be felt, be loved, be deeply attended to, intimate with. So funny, we look for sensual energy over there in another person. It was always in you. We look for the sense of love, heart energy in another person. It was always in you.
Is it okay to speak?
Yes, please.
I'm remembering the story of was it yesterday about the mother kitten that knew exactly what the mother cat that knew exactly how to quietly invite the kitten that was just traumatized and settle it and calm down. And I'm sensing a very old restriction in the center, just kind of in the body behind the penis. And it's really, really, really tight. and it's connected much with the stories, the performance that
Yeah.
have been. I don't know, but I just noticed there was a connection, and oh, there's it feels yeah, it feels like get to be the mother, and there's this little traumatized kitten down, yeah, the mother cat I get to be. And there's this little kitten that just I just need to be the calming presence for.
Yes.
Last time we were here, you talked about how that little constricted part is kind of, you're just all scrunched in. You can't
You
see me.
can't see me. I'm gonna hide from you. Yes.
This is the process then to participate in and just be the mother cat.
That's right. Precisely. Precisely. And he, behind the penis, they're going like this. You're not like that mother cat. Just just doesn't even like. It's just a light touch, at first, and then slowly, slowly, there's an unwinding. Because you're not coming in with an agenda, which is the very thing that created the knot. I'm so glad you talked about it because we're gonna find a lot. Like you can feel the beautiful energy there, but then there's those parts that are hiding out. And and then and then you just but the more you touch into the energy, it's like the closer the mother cat gets, her warmth and her field just starts to slowly open the one that's hiding. Yeah. And no wonder, right? There's no we understand completely why that cat wouldn't trust another being, and but we can trust us. We can it's not even trust, it's just the direct experience of warm safety, of
Yeah,
there is a mother here and I happen to be her. Pure awareness, you are the mother and he is the child. For Vasvi, it was like father and daughter. It might be more like mother and son, where you get to cuddle with this part of the body in a way that we know your mother didn't. We didn't. She didn't channel that. Not that she held it ever, but she was a little chilly. But you, pure awareness, are not, and you can just warmly touch into that spot.
and there's no need to even get involved in, well, where did this come from? Was my mother cold and therefore I'm don't have to get into all that mishigas. It's just
No, it's just Michigas. Yeah, nothing, because you're going to heal in this moment, and it has nothing to do with her. It's just between you and you. All healing is going to happen now, and it's between us and us. Yeah, yeah. We can't. I mean, that's all just blame is just a delay tactic for not taking 100% responsibility. And responsibility just means the ability to respond, and everyone can respond, which is to say, you as pure awareness can respond, can meet that spot in the body that has been neglected, that has been hiding itself in its full expression. Right? It's just a little boy that I couldn't be my full self. Right? Yeah. And P.S. This is everybody. This is all of us. Fully sensually expressed. I'm
yeah.
no, this is we've all been, you know, imprisoned ourselves with societal stories here. So you're unlocking it. You're just unlocking that flow. It's great. Thank you. How did it go for everybody else? Miriam says, for me, practicing yoga 4 to 5 times a week has me in a constant state of awareness about my body and my sensuality. I bet. She says, this is so lovely. What a great exercise, Vicky. Thanks. Welcome, everyone. I usually say hi to everybody, but um, great that you're here. This is this is this is healing. Just meeting ourselves in this gentle, attentive way. We reparent, we love, we befriend, we attend, we are the love we're seeking. And every single area of the body can be inhabited and opened up, and um, its gifts, its sensuality, its beauty can be revealed. There's no permanent damage ever done.
Yeah, isn't that nice? Oh
Yeah.
my. Yeah, they yes. Oh, that is such a, and it goes again, it flies in the face of all the therapies I've heard of helping people with addiction. Because addiction is like, no, 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 no. There's no chain on the present moment. I mean, there's no, you don't have to do a thing. The healing can happen. I mean, addiction is just a wrong concept, and
Yep.
it invites all kinds of wrong therapies. Because in the present moment, it doesn't matter what happened. It really doesn't.
Exactly. Exactly. And you can, in this present moment, meet that hungry ghost inside your pelvis, or inside your heart that was feeding. And we don't have to go a whole identity of addiction. I mean, you literally have described this for us, right? It's like that grabby guy, you've just seen through and felt through. And it's like that addictive behavior, if we wanted to call it that, where'd it go? Where did it go? And so, yeah, I totally agree. It's a, as Daniela, the knitting cult lady, says, AA is 100%. I mean, they're all cults. It's all cults because it has this story, um, and and then that story delays the direct realization of what's really here, and it isn't addiction, it isn't anxiety, it isn't. You're right. We just look all the way through it, feel all the way through it, and whatever story you had just dissolves.
Yeah, and it just adds another layer to the to the block of actually being in the moment, because now you've got the therapy you have to believe in, and so every time you you're familiar with your the triggers for your addiction, so then you have to, instead of going into what you're actually feeling, then you go, oh, I put my therapy on this, and you
Exactly.
involved in the therapeutic community, and you get involved in helping other people learn this complicated therapy, and you get involved in traveling around the world and becoming famous and writing thick 5,000 page books, and it's all a trap. And
It's all a trap.
the people that have any sense, they don't become the teachers. They just, that when they try it, they clue in on, well, this isn't helping. You might spend a month to a year, and you just go, this just is. So then you go to the next person that is promising the thing, and you can spend your whole life doing this. And I'm saying that that's what I did for 50 years. Know about any kind of psychotherapy, any kind of new age paradigm, astrology, Enneagram, NBTI, and human design, I'm your man. I've tried every system, and like, it's such a relief to go, no.
Not one system. Not one. Be
He
systemless beings.
all offered as keys to the prison door. Once you pay enough, I mean, this is the whole Scientology thing. I mean, they really have it down where you have to be really pay millions to get the key. But if you work long enough, you'll get that key. Tom Cruise, good luck. So um, then it turns out that the awareness reveals not only does the door not need a key, the prison that you created, that created the locked prison door, it doesn't even exist.
ago. Exactly. The whole thing was a dream. Yeah, a nightmare.
It's so simple. It's like, when I tell people about this, I say, just try it. I just don't pay attention to what your mind says. Just try it.
Yeah.
See what happens, because that's what happened to me. I'm on the rebound from the latest thing that didn't work, and I see your invitation for a med. Yeah, let's try it. And
Right.
so I just laid there, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, this is what meditation is about. Yeah, it's
I know.
amazing.
Totally. And the
I don't
surprise was you.
need to do this wrong for 50 years before it finally you just kind of just like going, okay, well, I'll try this body awareness thing. It's oh,
Exactly. All right. I'll try it. I'll try just being. I'll try just not doing anything. Yeah, yeah. It's an enormous relief. Uh Maymay says it's liberating, isn't it? Exactly. So liberating. Vicky says, I'm going to have to do this several more times to figure out where my blocks are exactly. Thank you for a way to possibly release them. They have plagued my life for my whole adult life. Thank you, Vicky. Um, Absolutely. Listen to the other one-on-ones, listen to the other radio hours, and then I have a bunch of meditations slash explorations on Insight Timer and on YouTube and under the name Simple Being in both those places. Everything's on my free healing tab in Substack or on my website, megrocal.com. So you've got a
oh,
ton of support to walk you through it.
I've got some information too. I should be at Bozeman, Montana is where I deliver tomorrow morning. So I should be there in time to be able to open up the men's Zoom room at 7 p.m. Pacific. So, men, if you direct message me through Substack with your email, I can give you the link, and we can see if I open up the Zoom room, because this is still, I've been on the other side and I've seen people do it. We're doing it. It
We're
must
doing
be
it.
possible. So,
It should
and
work.
see if we can get it going.
Cool. Cool. Great. Yeah, exactly. Yesterday, I mistakenly said that we would be putting the Zoom link in the men's group chat on my page and Substack. But Randolph's right. We don't want to put that link in public, so he'll DM you the link. But men, there's a beautiful group of men here to connect with. So I hope you do that and come join the chat. There's a bunch of other chats. Come brainstorm the new PBS with us. And then next week we'll be back with Miriam with functional nutrition. She's going to be on the Natural Healing Radio Hour Tuesday and Thursday. That's 4 p.m., 4 to 5. We're going to do 4 to 5 p.m. Pacific. I know. I cannot wait. We've got amazing handouts. I can't wait. I can't wait. So our curriculum folks are here, and we're building this out. Um, I'm talking with another woman tomorrow, Claudia, who's going to come on April 24th to talk about how to cleanse the spike protein for those who took the vaccine.
Oh, good. I need
And yeah, so
five
we got cool, cool. Um,
boosters.
Yeah, good, 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 good. So we've got, we were it's just going to keep go. It's just going to keep rolling. We're going to have all these amazing, amazing folks contributing. And so if you want to be a guest, if you have healing stuff that you want to distribute, give away the farm, like we say, direct message me. If you want to talk building this arc, building the new PBS and the structural pieces of that, how to get us off Substack and onto a free network, also DM me. But also join our chat and part of the community because we are a really fun group. It's just like this. Cool. All right, and then we'll have Miriam Tuesday and Thursday next week. Lucy will be back,
Oh,
who
good.
did a one-on-one on Wednesday, and Monday and Friday. I'll just do my thing, see what I feel like doing. The following week, so not next week, whatever that week is. I'm going to present the elemental species, I believe, on Monday and Tuesday, and then open it up for questions on Wednesday, and then we'll have Claudia on Thursday. So I guess stay tuned for that. All right. Happy weekend, everybody. Miriam says, beautiful country and hilly landscape. I know. So fun to see that. Miriam's asking where you're from, or where you're at right now.
Oh, Missoula, Montana.
Yeah. Yeah. It's lovely. Very different than Miami. Cool. Okay, y'all. What a pleasure. Thank you all for coming. And I'll post this later so you can see the whole thing. And yeah, come connect. Come say hi. Okay. Bye, Randolph. Enjoy your rest of your journey. Talk to you soon. Bye, y'all.